Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be testing Avowed on an RX 6600 GPU paired with a Ryzen 5 3600 and 16GB of DDR4 3200MHz RAM. So let's head right into it. First of all, let's go over the settings here. I'm going to be using 1080p, frame rate is unlimited, field of view is at 105, which is the maximum it can go, and we are using motion blur 0%. VSync is turned off, ray tracing is turned on. This game features Lumen, Nanite, and also hardware lumen and hardware nanite, so I've enabled that, and we have all of the settings to epic right here. Let's go into the game. We're in one of the town areas. I played the startup sequence for the game and it was not very intensive, so now I'm in a town area, which usually in some games is very intensive. Now as you can see, the frame rate there is close to 27 or 26 FPS. This game has FSR2 and it has TSR and DLSS. It doesn't feature any frame generation from FSR currently, which I can find in the settings, but I think it does have NVIDIA's frame generation and doesn't feature AMD, so that's a bummer for AMD users and many other GPU users which don't have RTX GPUs for using frame generation. Now let's head into this area and let's see how it's gonna perform. I'm just moving around, hovering my camera around at different things and just looking at different stuff, trying to find if I can see what's the lowest we can get at these settings. Now as you guys can see, we're hovering around 25 FPS. This game has some kind of issues with stutters because this is an Unreal Engine 5 game, and it's really intensive, don't get me wrong, and it's really good looking also, but this game has issues with its frame rate. Okay, yeah, because it stutters sometimes. It doesn't stutter all of the times. My game is installed on an SSD, so that's not an issue. Its frame time is not very smooth. Whenever I am moving and a new area needs to be loaded, it stutters sometimes. So yeah. Now it's dropping into the 20s, which is not very nice. Also, it has issues with FSR2 implementation. Even at quality, it makes the shadows go like very shimmery, like ghosty shadows, which I'm going to just show right here. When you go into the settings, and I'm going to turn on FSR3 at quality. I don't know if it is FSR 3.1 or not, but this is FSR3, it says. Now as you guys can see, maybe if you guys can make out the shadows here, but they've kind of become like on this guy's face here, it's kind of become like shimmery, the shadows. And when in cutscenes, when you're talking to people, it's really prominent that the shadows are not very good looking at these settings. Although our frame rate has kind of improved, like 20%, 25% improvement to our frame rates, which is nice, but you know, this is still very not very good that your shadows become warped and a lot of things become shimmery. I've tried to play around with the sharpness for FSR2, but it's also not working with the sharpness slider. Whatever I change it to, the shadows still remain the same, as I'm gonna show right here. Let's go to the sharpness. Let's turn it to 100%. Let's see if this changes anything with the shadows. It becomes over sharpened. The image becomes over sharpened.
Like this usually marks a good spot to rest.
But the shadows still don't get fixed. There are still issues with the shadows. I can still see some ghostiness around the shadows. Let's turn the sharpness to 0. I'm trying to find here what's the best, like 0 or 100%. What's the best for shadows not showing up as grainy? You know what? I don't see any difference. Like the shadows still become grainy when you're using FSR. Now a workaround for this was actually I enabled TSR at 100%, and this is actually native experience. You're not getting any upscaling for this, but the image looks the best with this for AMD or for older generation NVIDIA GPUs. Yeah, this is the best you can get. But if you guys want to use upscaling like quality TSR, you can decrease it down to 27% or 67%, and you get some improvements like FSR on quality. But your shadows and image is not very sharp. If they had a sharpness slider with TSR, it would be nice. So if the developers are listening to this, that would be nice if they include a sharpness slider with TSR also. Okay, you can go down in the TSR to like 50% and get a lot of performance improvements. But you know, this is now I'm asking like 50% resolution, upscaling from like 70% or 50%. The image is very blurry now. Okay.
Could use some work.
So let's go ahead, guys. Now, as I've shown you the settings here, let's go to FSR 3 and let's try balanced. I'm gonna try 60% sharpness here. Let's try balanced. Let's see the performance improvements.
Let's check the watermill for supplies.
Yeah, the image is very sharp. It's looking very over sharpened compared to TSR now. Maybe because I've enabled TSR and afterwards it is feeling like it's over sharpened. But I'm gonna try to decrease it down to 40%, and it's still very over sharpened, guys. Yeah, it's at 38 FPS now, and it's still very over sharpened. Okay, so let's try to keep moving forward. And I don't like the look of balanced FSR2 in this game, so I'm not gonna go further down to performance or ultra performance, although I want to see if I can get some performance improvement or not. Let's go to ultra performance. The image is very bad now, but we are at 50 FPS. Okay, so I'm not gonna do this. Also, I'm seeing that my GPU usage is dropping also. Let's go back to native resolution here, and let's try to disable ray tracing. Okay, first I'm gonna try to disable ray tracing, and let's see what we get. I'm gonna restart the game and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, so I've just gone ahead and restarted the game after disabling ray tracing, and I'm trying to figure out one of the things which is happening. I've disabled ray tracing here and I'm not using any upscaling. That settings are epic, but I'm getting the same frame rate which I was getting with enabled ray tracing. Now I don't know if ray tracing toggle is working for AMD in this game or not, because I'm using the latest graphics driver is 25.2.1, and it's optimized for this game. Also, I think this is a pre-launch of the game. If you order the deluxe edition, I think, then you get this version, and I think they have to patch this. Maybe ray tracing is not working. Don't quote me on that, but I've tried to enable it, and I've tried to enable it in the settings, and as you guys can see, the frame rate is still at 25 FPS. There should be a difference when you are enabling or disabling ray tracing in your settings. Either the toggle is not working for AMD GPUs, or there is no performance hit for enabling ray tracing, hardware ray tracing. Okay, hardware lumen. So yeah, this is really weird. This is definitely a bug, and I think the developers need to fix this when the game actually launches. Alright, so let's go ahead now, and I'm gonna try to decrease the settings because this is essentially the same settings. So I'm gonna enable the presets here now. Let's go to high preset. Previously we were at epic preset. Now let's enable high preset and let's see how it's gonna perform. Alrighty guys, this is actually high preset now. As you guys can see in the settings here, we're not using any upscaling. High preset, everything is on high. We've disabled ray tracing, and we're at 1080p. The rest of the settings are the same. Now as you guys can see, our frame rate has doubled just by decreasing settings to high, and I kind of cannot see any much difference in high and ultra settings. Oh my god, the ghosting on native even is too high in this game. What are these bugs doing? So we kill all of them, yeah, okay. So this guy is helping us now. I don't know if this is a guy or a girl. Or a girl. What is a girl? A guy or a girl. So 42 FPS. Oh my god, more enemies. Let's hit him. This bow reloads very slow. In the meantime, those guys hit us. So let's try to fight these guys, and I think these are... Oh my god, don't come in my way, you're gonna get your ass poked. I think that's what you call it. I hit him on his head, hit him on his head, hit him on his side, hit him on his head. Everybody's dead, I think. So this bow is strong compared to the dagger that that they gave us at the start of the game. Okay. What is that? Okay. Now guys, we're getting 44 FPS average, which is really nice. As I told you already from my side, that FSR3 in this game looks, it makes the shadows look a lot grainy, and that's a bug, I think, and that's what they're gonna fix in the coming batch, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but that's an issue with the game, and I think they should fix that issue ASAP. Now let's go ahead and try to enable FSR3. Maybe on these settings it's gonna be fixed. Let's see. We've enabled FSR3 on quality now. This doesn't require a game restart, but now our FPS is close to 60. I think once they improve the issue with the shadows being grainy at while using upscaling, I think the game is going to be very playable at these settings, high settings, and FSR3 on quality, which is really nice. Coming these days, games coming these days are not very nicely optimized. So at least this game has very good optimization and doesn't feature those stupid effects which lower down your FPS a lot. There are still some issues with Unreal Engine, like the traversal stutter and stuff. This doesn't stutter a lot, but there is still some stutter, some traversal stutter is still present in this game. Now I wanna hit something, I think, up top. There's nothing to hit here. Okay, we'll try to figure it out afterwards. Let's just try to go back. No, there's nothing to hit here. So our FPS is decreasing to 48 FPS even with upscaling, but my GPU usage is also fluctuating. Now I don't know if this is an issue with us being CPU bound, which I think we are getting CPU bound. Our CPU usage is at 80%, and at lower settings I think we're gonna get very CPU bound now. This game is also very CPU intensive as far as I can see, but it's still very good looking, and I think the FPS justifies the image quality that you're seeing on the screen. So yeah, the optimization I think in this game is nice. So let's go ahead now, and I'm gonna decrease the settings further. Let's go to native resolution now and decrease it to medium. Let's apply these settings. Okay. Alrighty guys, medium settings have been applied. We are at the same unlimited FPS, 105 FOV, motion blur is disabled, medium settings preset, upscaling is disabled, and alright, now I can see a lot of difference in the vegetation and stuff, and our FPS has kind of increased about 10 FPS more, I would say, at native. Yeah. Now I think if I enable upscaling, I'm gonna get about 60 FPS most of the times, I think. Yeah. So let's try to move at this spot. We're still getting 50s. I forgot to count the frame rate, which I usually normally do. And what is this? This is another shield which we can get. Okay, so there was some loot here, and oh my god, these enemies are... I can kill him with a bow. These are ghost type figures, and they are dead. Alright. So now let's try to move here at this spot. We're still in the 50s, 49 FPS average. We're dropping to 40, 45, I think, but it's still good. It's not bothering me a lot because I'm playing at first person mode. I'm also gonna enable third person right now because I want to see if we get more FPS in first person or third person. Now let's apply this. Okay, the FPS kind of seems like it's the same. Oh my god, though. Oh, this is exact thing that I'm telling you guys. Even now at native resolution, even this is happening. Look at the shadows, guys, on my character. It's like grainy and stuff. I think it's an issue with the shadow settings. Maybe it is. So let's go to shadow quality, and this is just for testing purposes. I'm gonna enable epic shadows here. Seems like it is, guys, but there is still some issues with the shadows. They're grainy still, but they're not that grainy anymore. So I think this is kind of a compromise you have to make if you guys want to get higher FPS. Let's go to low settings now, and I want to see if I can get more than 60 FPS with low settings at native resolution. Alright, still not getting 60 FPS. I think we're getting CPU bound now, guys. 83% CPU usage and 85% GPU usage. So we're getting CPU bound. Now let's go ahead and enable FSR3. Add quality, 40% sharpness. And this is gonna definitely make us go higher than 60 FPS. Although we're getting some stars now, and our GPU usage is a lot lower also. So if you've got a better CPU, I think you're gonna get better performance most of the times, which I'm getting right now. Okay, compared to what I'm getting right now. So my RAM usage is at 20 gigabytes, which is nice because and my 7.5 gigabytes of VRAM usage, which is also good. It's within our GPU. This game hasn't given me any issues with VRAM usage also, although some games these days that are coming out with Unreal Engine or stuff like that, they get very VRAM bound. So even though at 8 gigabytes at epic settings, even we weren't getting very VRAM bound, and we weren't having VRAM issues. Alright, so yeah, this is a very good experience now, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day, and bye bye.